Hello there and welcome. We'll continue our reading of the story of Mowgli from this book, All the Mowgli Stories of Rudyard Kipling. We stopped at page 19. The spot at which we stopped was where Mowgli is being inducted into the family of the wolves. So, take him away, he said to the father wolf, and train him as befits one of the free people. So Mowgli was admitted into the family of the wolves, and that is how Mowgli was entered into the Seoni wolf pack at the price of a bull and on Balu's good word. Now you must be content to skip 10 or 11 whole years and only guess at all the wonderful life that Mowgli led among the wolves. Because if it were written out, it would fill ever so many books. He grew up with the cubs, though they, of course, were grown bulls almost before he was a child. And Father Wolf taught him his business and the meaning of things in the jungle, till every rustle in the grass, every breath of the warm night air, every note of the owls above his head, every scratch of a bat's claws as it roosted for a while in the tree, and every splash of every little fish jumping in a pool meant just as much to him as the work of his office means to a businessman. When he was not learning, he sat out in the sun and slept, and ate and went to sleep again. When he felt dirty or hot, he swam in the forest pools. And when he wanted honey, Balu had told him that honey and nuts were just as pleasant to eat as the raw meat. So when he wanted honey, he climbed up for it. And that Bagheera showed him how to do. Bagheera would lie out on a branch and call, "Come along, little brother." And at first, Mowgli would cling like the sloth, but afterwards he would fling himself through the branches almost as bodily as the grey ape, as boldly as the grey ape. He took his place at the council rock too, when the pack met, and then he discovered that if he stared hard at any wolf, the wolf would be forced to drop his eyes, and so he used to stare for fun. At other times, he would pick the long thorns out of the pads of his friends, for wolves suffered terribly from the thorns and burrs in their coats. He would go down the hillside into the cultivated lands by night and look very curiously at the villagers in their huts. But he had a mistrust of men because Bagheera showed him a square box with a drop gate so cunningly hidden in the jungle that he nearly walked into it. And Bagheera told him that it was a trap. He loved better than anything else to go with Bagheera into the dark, warm heart of the forest, to sleep all through the drowsy day, and at night to see how Bagheera did his killing. Bagheera killed right and left as he felt hungry. And so did Mowgli, with one exception. As soon as he was old enough to understand things, Bagheera told him that he must never touch cattle because he had been bought into the pack at the price of a bull's life. "All the jungle is thine," said Bagheera, "and thou canst kill everything that thou art strong enough to kill. But for the sake of the bull that bought thee, thou must never kill or eat any cattle, young or old. That is the law of the jungle." And Mowgli obeyed that law faithfully. And he grew and grew, strong as a boy must grow, who does not know that he is learning any lessons and who has nothing in the world to think of except things to eat. Mother Wolf told him once or twice that Sher Khan was not a creature to be trusted and that someday he must kill Sher Khan. But though a young wolf would have remembered that advice every hour, Mowgli forgot it because he was only a boy. Though he would have called himself a wolf if he had been able to speak in any human tongue. Sher Khan was always crossing his path in the jungle, for as Akela grew older and feebler, the lame tiger had come to be great friends with the younger wolves of the pack, who followed him for scraps, a thing that Akela would never have allowed it if he had dared to push his authority to the proper bounds. Then Sher Khan would flatter them and wonder that such fine young hunters were content to be led by a dying wolf and a man's cub. They tell me, Sher Khan would say, that at council you dare not look him between the eyes, and the young wolves would growl and bristle. Bagheera, who had eyes and ears everywhere, knew something of this, and once or twice he told Mowgli in so many words that Sher Khan would kill him someday. And Mowgli would laugh and answer, I have the pack and I have thee. And Balu, though he is so lazy, Balu might strike a blow or two for my sake. Why should I be afraid? That was Mowgli. It was one very warm day that a new notion came to Bagheera, born of something that he had heard. Perhaps Ikki the porcupine had told him, but he said to Mowgli when they were deep in the jungle, as the boy lay with his head on Bagheera's beautiful black skin, Little brother, how often have I told thee that Sher Khan is your enemy? As many times as there are nuts on that palm, said Mowgli, who naturally could not count. What of it? I am sleepy. So Bagheera and Sher Khan is all long tail and loud talk, like More the peacock. But this is no time for sleeping. Palu knows it. I know it. The pack knows it. Even the foolish deer know it. Tabaki has told you it also. Ho ho, said Mowgli. Tabaki came to me not long ago with some rude talk that I was a naked man's cub and not fit to dig pig nuts. But I caught Tabaki by the tail and swung him twice against a palm tree to teach him better manners. That was foolishness, for though Tabaki is a mischief maker, he would have told you of something that concerned you openly. Open your eyes, little brother. Sher Khan dare not kill you in the jungle, but remember, Akela is very old, and soon the day comes when he cannot kill his buck, and then he will be leader no more. Many of the wolves that looked you over when you were brought to the council first are old too. And the young bulls believe, as Sher Khan has taught them, that a man cub has no place with the pack. In a little time, you will be a man. And what is a man that he should not run with his brothers? Said Mowgli. I was born in the jungle. I have obeyed the law of the jungle. And there is no wolf of ours from whose paws I have not pulled a thorn, since surely they are my brothers. Bagheera stretched himself at full length and half shut his eyes. Little brother, he said, feel under my paw. Mowgli put up his strong brown hand, and just under Bagheera's silky chin, where the giant rolling muscles were all hidden by the glossy hair, he came upon a little bald spot. There is no one in the jungle that knows that I, Bagheera, carry that mark. the mark of the collar. And yet, little brother, I was born among men, and it was among men that my mother died, in the cages of the king's palace at Odipur. It was because of this that I paid the price for thee at the council, when thou wast a little naked cub. Yes, I too was born among men. I had never seen the jungle. They fed me behind bars from an iron pan, till one night I felt that I was Bagheera the panther, and not any man's plaything. And I broke this silly lock with one blow of my paw and came away. And because I had learned the ways of men, I became more terrible in the jungle than Sher Khan. Is it not so? Yes, said Mowgli. All the jungle fear Bagheera, all except Mowgli. Oh, you are a man's club, said the Bagheera very tenderly. And even as I return to my jungle, so you must go back to men at last, to the men who are your brothers, if you are not killed in the council. But why? Why should anyone wish to kill me? Said Mowgli. Look at me, said Bagheera. And Mowgli looked at him steadily between the eyes. The big panther turned his head away in half a minute. That is why, he said, shifting his paw on the leaves. Not even I can look you between the eyes. And I was born among men, and I love you. Little brother, the others, they hate you, because their eyes cannot meet yours, because you are wise, because you have pulled out thorns from their feet, and because you are a man. I did not know these things, said Mowgli sullenly, and he frowned under his heavy black eyebrows. What is the law of the jungle? Strike first and then give tongue. By this very carelessness, they know that you are a man. But be wise. It is in my heart that when Akela misses his next kill, and at each hunt it costs him more to pin the buck, the pack will turn against him and against you. They will hold a jungle council at the rock, and then I have it. I have it, said Bagheera, leaping up. Go thou quickly down to the men's huts in the valley and take some of the red flower which they grow there, so that when the time comes, you may have even a stronger friend than I or Balu or those of the pack that love you. Get the red flower. By the red flower, Bagheera meant fire. Only no creature in the jungle will call fire by its proper name. Every beast lives in deadly fear of it and invents 100 ways of describing it. The red flower, said Mowgli, that grows outside their huts in the twilight? I'll get some. There speaks a man's cub, said Bagheera proudly. Remember that it grows in little pots. Get one swiftly and keep it by thee in time of need, for the time of need. Good, said Mowgli. I go. But are you sure, my Bagheera? He slipped his arms round the splendid neck and looked deep into the big eyes. Are you sure that all this is Sher Khan's doing? By the broken log that freed me, I am sure, little brother, said Bagheera. Then by the bull that bought me, I'll pay Sher Khan full tail for this, and it may be a little over, said Mowgli, and he bounded away. That is a man, that's all. That is all a man, said Bagheera to himself proudly, laying down again. Oh, Sher Khan never was a blacker hunting than that frog hunt of thine 10 years ago. Mowgli was far and far through the forest, running hard, and his heart was hot within him. He came to the cave as the evening mist rose, and drew breath, and looked down the valley. The cubs were out, but Mother Wolf at the back of the cave, knew by his breathing that something was troubling her frog. Mowgli is called the frog by his mother. What is it, son? She asked. Some bats chattered that Sher Khan and I He called back. I hunt among the plowed fields tonight, and he plunged down through the bushes to the stream at the bottom of the valley. There he checked, for he heard the yell of the pack hunting, heard the bellow of a hunted sambar deer, and the snort as the buck turned at bay. Then there were wicked, bitter howls from the young wolves. Akela, Akela, let the lone wolf show his strength. Room for the leader of the pack. Spring, Akela. The lone wolf must have sprung and missed his hold, for Mowgli heard the snap of his teeth and then the yelp as the sambar knocked him over with his forefoot. He did not wait for anything more, but dashed on, and the yells grew fainter behind him as he ran into the croplands where the villagers lived. Bagheera spoke truth, he panted, as he nestled down in some cattle fodder by the window of a hut. Tomorrow is one day both for Akela and for me. Then he pressed his face close to the window and watched the fire on the hearth. He saw the husbandman's wife get up and feed it in the night with the black lumps. That's cold. And when the morning came and the mists were all white and cold, he saw the man's child pick up a wicker pot plastered inside with earth, fill it with lumps of red-hot charcoal, put it under his blanket, and go out to tend the cows in the byre. Is that all? Said Mowgli. If a cub can do it, there is nothing to fear. So he strode round the corner and met the boy, took the pot from his hand, and disappeared into the mist while the boy howled with fear. They are very like me, said Mowgli, blowing into the pot, as he had seen the woman do. This thing will die if I do not give it things to eat. And he dropped twigs and dried bark on the red stuff. Halfway up the hill, he met Bagheera, with the morning dew shining like moonstones on his coat. Akela has missed, said the panther. They would have killed him last night, but they needed thee also. They were looking for you on the hill. I was among the plowed lands, and I am ready. See? Mowgli held up the fire pot. Good. Now I have seen men thrust a dry branch into that stuff, and presently the red flower blossomed at the end of it. Are you not afraid? No, why should I be afraid? I remember now, if it is not a dream, how before I was a wolf, I lay beside the red flower, and it was warm and pleasant. All that day Mowgli sat in the cave tending his fire pot and dipping dry branches into it to see how they looked. He found a branch that satisfied him, and in the evening, when Tabaki came to the cave and told him rudely enough that he was wanted at the council rock, he laughed till Tabaki ran away. Then Mowgli went to the council, still laughing. Akela, the lone wolf, lay by the side of his rock as a sign that the leadership of the pack was open. And Sher Khan, with his following of scrap-fed wolves, walked to and fro openly, being flattered. Bagheera lay close to Mowgli, and the fire pot was between Mowgli's knees. When they were all gathered up together, Sher Khan began to speak, a thing he would never have dared to do when Akela was in his prime. He has no right, whispered Bagheera. Say so, he is a dog's son. He'll be frightened. Mowgli sprang to his feet. Free people, he cried. Does Sher Khan lead the pack? What has a tiger to do with our leadership? Seeing that the leadership is yet open and being asked to speak, Sher Khan began. By whom? Said Mowgli. Are we all jackals to fawn on this cattle butcher? The leadership of the pack is with the pack alone. There were yells of silence. You man's cub, let him speak. He has kept our laws, and at last, seniors of the pack thundered, "Let the dead wolf speak." When a leader of the pack has missed his skill, he is called a dead wolf, as king as long as he lives, which is not long as a rule. Akela raised his old head wearily. Free people, and you too, jackals of Sher Khan, for many seasons I have led you to and from the kill, and in all my time not one has been trapped or maimed. Now I have missed my kill. You know how that plot was made. You know how you brought me up to an untried buck to make my weakness known. It was cleverly done. Your right is to kill me here on the council rock now. Therefore, I ask, who comes to make an end of the lone wolf? For it is my right, by the law of the jungle, that you come one by one. There was a long hush, for no single wolf cared to fight Akela to the death. Then Sher Khan roared, "Bah! What have we to do with this toothless fool? He is doomed to die. It is a man cub who has lived too long. Free people, he was my meat from the first. Give him to me. I am weary of this man-wolf folly. He has troubled the jungle for 10 seasons. Give me the man cub, or I will hunt here always, and not give you one bone. He is a man's child, and from the marrow of my bones I hate him." Then more than half the pack yelled, "A man, a man! What has a man to do with us? Let him go to his own place." "And turn all people of the village against us?" clamored Sher Khan. "No, give him to me. He is a man, and none of us can look him between the eyes." Akela lifted his head again and said, "He has eaten our food. He has slept with us. He has driven game for us. He has broken no word of the law of the jungle. Also, I paid for him with a bull when he was accepted. The worth of a bull is little, but Bagheera's honor is something that he will perhaps fight for," said Bagheera in his gentlest voice. "A bull paid 10 years ago," the pack snarled. "What do we care for bones 10 years old?" "Or for a pledge," said Bagheera, his white teeth bared under his lip. "Well, are you called the free people? No man's cub can run with the people of the jungle," howled Sher Khan. "Give him to me." "He is our brother in all but blood," Akela went on. "And you would kill him here. In truth, I have lived too long. Some of you are eaters of cattle, and of others I have heard that under Sher Khan's teaching, you go by dark night and snatch children from the villager's doorstep. Therefore, I know you to be cowards, and it is to cowards I speak. It is certain that I must die, and my life is of no worth, or I would offer that in the man cub's place. But for the sake of the honor of the pack, a little matter that by being without a leader you have forgotten. I promise that if you let the man cub go to his own place, I will not, when my time comes to die, bear one tooth against you. I will die without fighting. That will be the least, that will at least save the pack 3 lives. More I cannot do, but if you will, I can save you the shame that comes of killing a brother against whom there is no fault, a brother spoken for and brought into the pack according to the law of the jungle." "He is a man, a man, a man," snarled the pack, and most of the wolves began to gather round Sher Khan, whose tail was beginning to switch. "Now the business is in thy hands," said Bagheera to Mowgli. "We can do no more except fight." Mowgli stood upright, the fire pot in his hands. Then he stretched out his arms and yawned in the face of the council. But he was furious with rage and sorrow, for wolf-like, the wolves had never told him how they hated him. Listen, you, he cried. There is no need for this dog's jabber. You have told me so often tonight that I am a man, and indeed I would have been a wolf with you to my life's end. You have told me so many times that I feel your words are true. So I do not call you my brothers anymore. But dogs, I don't call you my brothers, but I call you dogs, as a man should. What you will do and what you will not do is not yours to say. That matter is with me, and that we may see the matter more plainly, I, the man, have brought here a little of the red flour which you dogs fear. He flung the firepot on the ground, and some of the red coals lit a tuft of dried moss that flared up, as all the council drew back in terror before the leaping flames. Mowgli thrust his dead branch into the fire till the twigs lit up. And crackled, and whirled it above his head among the cowering wolves. Thou art the master, said Bagheera in an undertone. Save Akela from death. He has ever been your friend. Akela, the grim old wolf who had never asked for mercy in his life, gave one piteous look at Mowgli as the boy stood tall and naked, the long black hair tossing over his shoulders in the light of the blazing branch he held in his hands. Good, said Mowgli, staring around slowly. I see that you are dogs. I go from you to my own people, if they be my own people. The jungle is shut to me, and I must forget you all. And I must forget your talk and your companionship. But I'll be more merciful than you are, because I was all but your brother in blood. I promise that when I am a man among men, I'll not betray you to men as you have betrayed me. He kicked the fire with his foot, and sparks flew up. There shall be no war between any of us and the pack. But here is a debt to pay before I go. He strode towards where Shere Khan sat blinking stupidly at the flames and caught him by the tuft of his chin. Bagheera followed in case of accidents. Up, dog, Mowgli cried. Up, when a man speaks, or I will set that coat ablaze. Shere Khan's ears lay flat back on his head, and he shut his eyes for the blazing branch. He was very near. This cattle killer said he would kill me in the council because he had not killed me when I was a cub. Thus and thus, then do we beat dogs, then we are men. Stir a whisker, Langdi, and I ram the red flower down your throat. He beat Shere Khan over the head with the branch, and the tiger whimpered and whined in an agony of fear. Pah! Sing the jungle cat. Go now. But remember, when next I come to the council rock, as a man should come, it will be with Shere Khan's hide on my head. For the rest, Akela goes free to live as he pleases. You will not kill him because this is not my will. Nor do I think that you will sit here any longer, lolling out your tongues as though you are somebody's instead of dogs whom I drive out thus. Go. The fire was burning furiously until the end of the branch, and Mowgli struck right and left around the circle, and the wolves ran howling with the sparks burning their fur. At last there were only Akela, Bagheera, and perhaps 10 wolves that had taken Mowgli's part. Then something began to hurt Mowgli's inside him, as he had never been hurt in his life before. And he caught his breath and sobbed, and the tears ran down his face. What is it? What is it? He said. I do not wish to leave the jungle, and I do not know what this is. Am I dying, Bagheera? No, little brother, those are only tears such as men use, said Bagheera. Now I know you are a man, and a man's cub no longer. The jungle is shut, indeed, to you henceforward. Let them fall, Mowgli, they are only tears. So Mowgli sat and cried as though his heart would break, and he had never cried in all his life before. Now he said, I'll go to men, but first I must say farewell to my mother. And he went to the cave where he lived with Father Wolf, where she lived with Father Wolf, and he cried on her cot while the four cubs howled miserably. You will not forget me, said Mowgli. Never while we can follow a trail, said the cubs. Come to the foot of the hill when you are a man, and we will talk to you, and will come into the croplands to play with you by night. Come soon, said father. Oh, wise little frog, come again soon, for we are old, your mother and I. Come soon, said Mother Wolf. Little naked son of mine, for listen, child of man, I loved you more than I ever loved my own cubs. I will surely come, said Mowgli, and when I come, it will be to lay out Shere Khan's hide upon the council rock. Do not forget me. Tell them in the jungle never to forget me. The dawn was beginning to break when Mowgli went down the hillside alone to meet those mysterious things that are called men. That's the end of that chapter. End of page 34. We'll close here. I hope you liked it. See you again
What are your
next time.
thoughts on it?
It is very nice. It's putting our mind the council of the at the rock where the bulls are talking and Shere Khan. So nice. We get into their minds. It's very nice.
Yeah, well written, and it's not like the children's Jungle Book.
No. It is an adult's book, but it talks about animals and the jungle and how animals are thinking and talking. To that extent, it's a children's book, but it's very interesting. Now we start on page 36 next time. Cars hunting. Thank you. Bye.